Let's peek into Nick's Mail Corner real fast.
Let's do it, man. It's Nick's Mail Corner. We're good.
Okay, so we have one email in the bag today.
All right.
Thank God, because I'm getting real sick of that feeling where we don't have any. That's terrible.
Am I jumping off of or am I on the...
Breathe.
Is it...
Just breathe.
Is it Forrest?
It is Forrest.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Forrest.
Friend of the show, Forrest, who couldn't be on again today, which is a real bummer because his presence is fucking awesome. He has a question for us.
Great.
And he actually used in his question a news story I almost included, but he says Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Basterds and Django was just added to the cast of the new James Bond film, allegedly as a complex character or a nemesis of sorts. He says, discuss that. What is your favorite Bond movie? And explain why it's Casino Royale. Then he says, next time I'm on the show, I'll explain why Skyfall is terrible. So let me start, Hunter.
Okay.
And Forrest, what that sentence in the very end just told me completely validates my thought of you hating everything. You hate everything, bro. And when you
except for Casino Royale, apparently.
When you come onto the show, I want to hear in a non-humorous fashion the logical reasons why you hate that movie. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Skyfall is my favorite Bond movie, and I've seen a lot of Bond movies. Skyfall is brilliant, and I will save why. We'll have that conversation when it gets here.
Okay, fair enough.
What's your favorite Bond movie?
Okay, so all of the names of the Bond movies kind of rode together on me. Even the specific events that happened from Bond movie to Bond movie, I don't ever really retain like, oh, in GoldenEye, I remember when he did this. You know, like I don't really like remember coming out of any specific James Bond and being like, best James Bond I've ever seen, hands down. You know, I think it actually, you know, to Forrest's point, for me, I think it was Casino Royale. It was like the first version of the most modern version of, or the first showing of the modern version of James Bond. Mm-hmm. Pierce Brosnan, in my opinion, was a great James Bond. I really did like him as James Bond. He was a very believable Bond for me, regardless of the production of his works. But Daniel Craig was kind of like this new guy. He had a lot more edge. It was a lot less like, I'm a suave... This guy. It's like, I'm more just a guy that's going to kick your ass.
And that's why
I know how to do everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a badass, you know? And so it fulfilled kind of this new energy, this new vibe. And Casino Royale, I felt like, was a really good start into that new modern thing. I think it played on a lot of classic Bond themes while still making it fresh enough for people to be able to enjoy it for what it was. Not just because it was a Bond movie, but just because it was a good movie in general. And I think that was the one movie that I came out of being like, that was really good. You know, like the poker scene in that movie was delicious.
Great villain. Love the actor who plays the villain.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and then like the torture scene, while it was harsh, it just validated how much of a badass James Bond is for me again, you know. And so I think I'll go ahead and unfortunately, even though it's, you know, I'm falling into playing into Forrest's hands right here, I'm gonna put Casino Royale as my favorite Bond movie. I've seen it the most of any other Bond movie. I like it.
Now going to Christoph Waltz being in the new Bond movie, I couldn't be happier.
Super excited.
I could not be happier.
Anything that guy's in, I like it.
Exactly. Every performance I've ever seen him in just blows me away. I think Christoph Waltz is brilliant. Mm-hmm. And he is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, he's a weird bird.
Well, yeah, dude.
He's a weird bird, but he's an artistic master. You know,
masterful bird.
A masterful bird.
Yeah, yes. I'm glad that he's a bird. I like calling him a bird. For
my friend, the president of my fraternity used to call people weird birds. Okay. That was like his reference for like, that guy's kind of weird. But yeah, so he's kind of a weird bird. But yeah, like even, you know, whenever he goes, he's accepted speeches for winning like best supporting actor or something, and he just has these
brilliant.
They're brilliant, but it's weird. You know, it's like I can't even follow where his mind's going when he's saying this speech, but like I know that it's in the right place, you know, like he's a badass, so I acknowledge that like his work is great. But yeah, I would be mad if he wasn't kind of a nemesis role, if he wasn't playing that like counter to the James Bond, because he seems like perfect for that.
It would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how he factors in, but dude, I am so stoked to see him in the new Bond movie. I'm so stoked for the new Bond movie.
Right.
Because I loved Skyfall so much.
Yeah. I mean, I just love... I feel like Christoph Waltz is really good at like playing mind games in his roles, right? So in Inglourious Bastards, the first scene that he goes in, he's just playing an ultimate mind F on that guy. Dude. And then the same thing in Django, whenever he gets to Candyland and he's talking to, you know, the whatever the guy's name that Leonardo DiCaprio is playing, and it's a mind game. The whole experience there is just trying to play and keep up with some mind game. And I like heady stuff like that, you know, and I think that like the more Bond is pushed to like kind of counteract the fact that he's this physically dominant presence, but he has to be smart too. Like he has to be super smart. And I think that Christoph Waltz will bring that. So yeah.
Totally. Thank you for the question, Forrest. He emailed the show at wittybantershow@gmail.com, just like you can if you want to be a part of the conversation. We would love for you to email in. We'll definitely read it.
Do it to it, guys.
Yeah, so please do. So